Welcome to the Winning in Business podcast. I'm your host, Kelli Risse, and I love talking to business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs who are winning in business. Are you ready to reach your next level of success? If so, join us on the Winning in Business podcast as I interview entrepreneurs, business professionals, and leaders who share how they've risen to success. Before we begin, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification button so you'll be notified each time a new episode is released. Plug in and settle in. You're about to be inspired to rise up to your next level of success. Welcome to another episode of Winning in Business. I'm Kelli Risse, and today I am here by myself. You know, I've been seeing a common problem lately with business owners and entrepreneurs. So I decided that I would do a podcast about it and bring it to everyone's attention so that this is you can have some solutions. So the problem that I'm seeing right now is that business owners and entrepreneurs are not completing projects. So they're starting them, they're stopping them, and then they're either trying to go back to them, but they're avoiding them, or they just move on to the next project and the next project and the next project. But the same thing happens with all of those projects. And the next thing you know, you have 10 projects that you've started, none of which you've completed, or you have the one big project looming over your back like a monkey, right? And it's just weighing you down. It feels like that extra 100 pounds on you because you know what needs to be done, and yet it's not happening. And so for you, what project is waiting to be completed? What project or projects have you started that then you got pulled away from? You got distracted from? There was a bigger issue, a burning fire that needed to be put out, and so you abandoned it. Sometimes it's abandoning, sometimes it's avoiding, but you went from gung-ho, right? You were gung-ho about this. You knew that this project was going to help you advance your business. It was going to help you make more money. It was going to help you relieve some pressure of something. And the focus shifted. And typically, when the focus shifts, it can be self-sabotage. You're actually self-sabotaging yourself and finding ways to be busy doing other things. And if you're a business owner, that can look in the form of you feeling like you have to be putting out the fires as opposed to delegating things. And maybe you do need to be putting out the fires, right? But what can you delegate? Is there even part of this project that you could delegate that could then see it through all the way to the end and the project actually be completed? And you might have this going on in your personal life too. So think about that as well. Where in your personal life is this showing up? Which just means like now it's kind of a habit. It's a pattern. So you've created this mind pattern that like, it's okay to stop and start. It's okay to start something and get distracted. Like that's the pattern, right? So, when you think about that and this problem is looming over your head, how's that making you feel? Are you feeling scattered? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling unsuccessful? Are you feeling that, you're just like unaccomplished? Are you sitting there going, why? Why can I not just get focused? Like I started out good. Why can't I get back to it and keep going? Right? And then it just drains our energy. Honestly, the thinking about not completing the project is draining the energy more than actually doing the project, because it's wasted energy on thinking more of the negative and like that feeling instead of really doing it. So if you want to get something focused, if you want to get focused to get something done, here's a few suggestions as you're just kind of right now becoming aware of what is it, what is the project, what is the problem. Time management. So do you have it in your calendar? First of all, are you being intentional about completing the project? Because if not, it won't happen, right? It's the same as going to the gym. If it's not on your calendar, it's not going to happen. You have to be very intentional about it. So do you have time blocks? And do you have enough time blocked? Because I feel like sometimes that can be another form of avoidance, is that you didn't allow enough time. And so then you can't really get any much of it completed. So then you just put something else in your calendar over it. Right? Or the other thing can be that it can be very overwhelming, and it feels overwhelming. So it's in your calendar, it's on the calendar, and yet when you go to look at it, it's overwhelming. And so the overwhelm alone causes you to schedule meetings, do something else during that time, like something that's easier, that's not going to take as much energy, as much thought, right? So, for you, first of all, you have to decide, which is it? Is it scheduled and you're not doing it? Or do you just need to start by scheduling it and allowing yourself enough time that's a good block? And then within that, if you have that time, then it's about not getting distracted, not getting pulled away, and not just avoiding it. And so you have to break it down a little more. If you have the overwhelm going on, break it down into really little bites, like a really little pieces. And like I said earlier, go back. Can you delegate any of it? But when you break things down, sometimes it has to be broken down so small that the first step is sit at my desk. Step 2, turn on my computer. Step 3, pull up the document, whatever you're doing. It has to be that small. And the reason is when you make the steps that small, then you're like, whew, sat down, check. Turned on the computer, check. And you get this momentum going because you're able to cross things off your list, right? And when we're successful at things to start with, then we get on a roll and we have some momentum going. So start by putting the easiest things at the top of the list so that you will get rolling, get going, and feel accomplished to keep going into the harder thing that actually needs to be done. And then the other thing that, being distracted, having your focus pulled away, feeling like you always need to be putting out other fires, and having that overwhelm, those are actually symptoms of a faulty mindset. There's just some mindset things going on, like in your mind, some programs that are running in the back of your mind that you can switch and change to help you feel, focused and ready to work. And, you are following your calendar, you are being intentional, you know your exact goals, and you know exactly why this project needs to get completed in order to achieve the goals. And so, when we think about that and you're looking at the faulty mindset, this project, is there a fear of failure that goes with it? Is there a fear of success that goes with it? Sometimes the fear of success can be just as strong as the fear of failure. Are you worried about upsetting people? Are some people going to be upset when you complete this project? You know what I mean? Like, will it be affecting other people? And so that program is playing in the back of your head. So you really have to be looking at what are the programs that are driving you into the avoidance, into the, not being intentional about it. And that is my specialty. I just had a client come and we did the 1-day breakthrough session, and she came in and she was feeling very scattered. There was a very important project in her business that she's been avoiding. And it was, it's on her calendar, but she found herself doing other things. She found herself just kind of ignoring it. And we did the deep dive breakthrough. And what that does is, number one, she leveled off some emotions. Because if there are any emotions attached to the project, and those negative emotions, anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt that you're taking time away from maybe your family to do a project, or you're taking time away from other things, if any of those emotions are getting in the way, it's going to stop you, because that program is running to protect yourself, right? It's trying to protect you. And so we leveled off those emotions. We looked at a limiting belief that was really slowing her down also, that she had no idea was running in the back of her mind. And we took care of that and eliminated that. And then we looked at her business values. And this was really interesting, Because, most people think of values as like priorities and, faith, family, career, health. When I work with a client and we go in and look at values, we go so much deeper than that. Like there is so much more than that. And what was very interesting is that in her values, I usually we get it down to 1 through 10. Value number 9 for her, in order for her to really have a successful business, value 9 needed to be up in the number 3 spot. And it was in the number 9 spot. And when I pointed this out and we talked about it, she was like, oh, I can see how I won't be scaling, I won't be growing, I won't be doing any of that if that value is so low. And so the coolest thing is neurologically, we took and I do some modalities with this, and we literally made her brain be like, and we, zapped everything. And we got that value, that number 9 value, up to number 3. And she left there and she was like, I have a sense of focus, excitement, alignment, and clarity on how I'm going to accomplish the things that I have been neglecting. Y'all, that is powerful. That is powerful that in one day, she now has the clarity, she has the alignment, the focus that she needs to go complete the big project that is going to, really take her business to the next level. And she's like, wow, now I understand why it's a breakthrough. But, you don't have to stay scattered. You don't have, you can be completing projects. So you need to either figure out, do you have a time management problem? Do you have an overwhelm problem? And how are those both symptoms of what the deeper underlying issue is? If you're not sure what the deeper underlying issue is, love to, spend some time with you. Let's figure that out. And, then we can come up with a plan for you to really take care of that and move forward. First, look at your time management and see if it's in your schedule and what's happening, and just start being aware. My goal is for everyone, right, to be fulfilling their purpose, to be completing the projects, to move forward. Y'all, we have so much energy and can do so much goodness as people in the world. We have gifts to share, and we can't share them when we are scattered and when we are unfocused. So get yourself focused, get yourself completing the projects, because there are people out there that need the projects that are sitting left undone. Go, be great, win in business. And if you need help, let me know, DM me. If you're listening to this podcast, reach out to me through one of the social media platforms, and be great. Rise up and live. As I always say, rise up. Y'all, when we rise up and live, we impact the entire world. All right, have a great one. And next week, we will have a guest on. See you then. Thank you for being a part of the Winning in Business podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to rise up to your next level of success, but are worried about increased stress, time for work and yourself and your family, not to mention being exhausted, I'd like to invite you to a complimentary strategy call where I'll show you how you can do it all. I'll help you reclaim time, keep your sanity, handle the chaos with ease, and move to the next level of success that you deserve and desire. I hope you found value in listening today. Please always leave your comments, feedback, or questions. We check them all. I want you to continue winning in business and reach your next level of success. See you next time.